Meat on a little stick. Yeah, that'd be funny.
Fatality.
Hey, welcome back to another episode of Wake Up 3. We are your hosts, Molly.
And Cam, and this is a fighting game podcast from a couple that loves fighting games.
And as always, we are starting things off with a mix-up. Brought to you this week by me, for Cam. And if you've heard some of our mix-ups thus far, I think I've taken it relatively easy on Cam. Can we agree?
I think so, yeah, I think so.
On the opposite end, I think you've given me some rather difficult mix-ups.
Yeah, especially last week. I think I went a little bit hard last week with the 2 moves and a lie mix-up. So I'm looking forward to seeing what you've got in store for me this week.
I tried to kick it up a notch, so I've got some quotes for you today. And what I want you to do is, I'm going to give you a quote, and I'm going to give you 2 options. Who said this quote, okay?
Okay.
3 quotes, and I think I'm going to tell you at the end how you scored, okay?
Oh.
So I won't tell you immediately if you're right or wrong, okay?
Okay, sounds good.
So quote number 1. You remind me of an Earth Realmer who crossed over with us. He also found humor in everything. Is this Tanya or Lee May?
He also found humor in everything. I'm gonna say it's Lee May from MKX.
Okay, I just need the name, but okay, thank you for the bonus. Quote 2. Your people believe we avoided your island out of respect for your solitary nature. We just didn't like you. Is this Baraka or Tanya?
An island? Tanya or Baraka?
Yes.
Wow. I'm gonna go with Tanya.
All right. Quote number 3. Speak. You've earned the chance. Is this Tanya or Baraka?
I'm also gonna go with Tanya.
Okay. So here's your score. First quote is Lee May and is from MKX. Good job there.
Okay.
Speaking with Johnny Cage about Kano there.
Yeah, I could picture that one once I started thinking about people that she's talked to.
Well done. So, got the first one. Quote 2. Tanya from MKX speaking to Devora.
Yeah, I was thinking about that as well. I think that would be Tanya talking to Devora, and I also can't imagine Baraka saying that to anybody. You know what I mean?
Okay. And then the final one, you guessed Tanya again. However, this was Baraka.
Okay.
MK11, Baraka quote there.
Speak, you've earned your chance.
Yeah, I thought that one might throw you off. Well, overall, I think you did pretty well. I'm glad that I was able to mix you up a little bit, though.
Yeah, you got me there at the end. I see we have a little bit of a theme here for the mix-up this week.
We do.
And that is that SDCC, San Diego Comic-Con, was just this past weekend, and there were a bunch of new announcements from Mortal Kombat 1.
Yes, quite a few. The first trailer that we got to see in the hour-long panel that they held on Friday was the Umgadi trailer. We
got a few new characters out of that for the main roster, and then a couple cameos as well that were a little bit... at least one of them was very unexpected.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's just talk about how the trailer goes a bit, right? Because the Umgadi is brand new. And it starts off with Liu Kang narrating and kind of telling us who the Umgadi are. The first daughters of Outworld are taken and they are raised in the Umgadi warriors. They're raised to be Umgadi warriors to protect the royal family.
Yeah.
So the trailer starts off with like a really pretty view of what is supposed to be the capital city of Outworld, I believe. In the second shot, we see an overhead view of the street, and there's a procession going on.
Yeah.
And someone's leading that procession. It's led by none other than the Outworld Prince himself, Goro.
He is holding a drum set and just kind of pounding away on it. I thought that was really cool because it referenced his Deadly Alliance art that you could unlock in the crypt there.
Yeah, also of him playing the drums. So like a little callback there?
Yeah, yeah, I think so.
Goro, he's back with the drums.
Yeah, Goro's
Good
back.
to see.
He's drumming again. I love to see it.
Then what else do we get right away?
We get Li Mei. Just right away.
Yes, the long-awaited, long-requested return of none other than Li Mei. A lot of people have been waiting for her to come back in the NRS era as a fully fleshed out playable character, and the time has now come.
I saw a lot of hype online about her. I was going to say within like the first 5 minutes of the reveal, but honestly ever since then, in the days since, I've been seeing nothing but just people super hyped for her return.
It's always cool to see people excited to have their character back. And she's definitely waited a long time to come back.
Yeah, she hasn't been around since Armageddon, the one with everybody, and that was 17 years ago.
Wow.
So it's been a long time.
So welcome back, Li Mei. She's introduced as the protector of Princess Melina. She was the former leader of the Umgadi. So she had risen in ranks.
That's right.
And she was the most trusted protector of the royal family. But under her watch, some oopsies happened.
Yeah, the father of the princess was killed, which I think that would be Gerard. I wonder if we'll see Gerard in the story, because we've never seen him before. He's always just been referenced in like flashback photos and stuff.
That's true. And now he's going to be in the second Mortal Kombat movie as well.
That's right, yeah.
So, yeah, maybe we'll get a little bit more focus on him for the first time in a while.
We might, yeah. That would be interesting. But yeah, we get a little bit of Li Mei.
Yeah, and then they show her combat. What did you think? She kind of has like a firework effect sometimes. Some purple energy going on.
Yeah, I noticed a lot of her effects have that little, like, it's kind of like a pink spark to them, where you're right, it does look like fireworks. At first, the only firework thing that I noticed was from the ending, the fatality that they showed.
Right.
But we've watched it a few times now, and it seems like a lot of her special moves have that little firework effect to them, where she'll do like a little punch burst, and it'll have the little pink spark behind it, and that looks pretty cool, I think.
We also got to see in some of Li Mei's gameplay that they show in this new trailer, her use of a cameo we haven't seen in action yet, Sub-Zero, the cameo.
Right. That's right.
So we see a classic Sub-Zero cameo in the quilted ninja outfit, and he's got the bright white eyeballs. That's a notable feature there.
Yep.
Yeah, we get to see him in use for the first time. And then pretty quickly, we run into another new character.
Yeah, that's right. A new character to the MK1 era, Tanya.
Yes, Tanya is back, and she is in the Umgadi as well. She was also the firstborn of her family, firstborn daughter, and is taken then for the cause of the Umgadi. She, on the other hand, though, never comes to know her family. She doesn't know who they are. They never keep in contact with her. For all she knows, they could be just dead. Tanya's on her own. She's kind of a self-built warrior at this point.
Right, and it seems like she is kind of a high rank in the Umgadi.
So we see her and Li Mei interact because they've got a history now.
Yep, they don't really respect each other, or I guess at least Tanya doesn't really respect Li Mei for her past failure, so...
Right.
It'll be interesting seeing how that pans out in the story, especially because it seems like Tanya is really serious this time around, and I feel like before, I mean, not that she hasn't been serious, but it seems like she's always been kind of a deceptive one.
Yeah.
Like she's scheming and just up to something else. So I wonder if she is truly the protector that we think she is right now. That's always been a thing that's kind of built into her character.
Yeah.
And that's a cool thing about her is because she's always out to just get another step ahead and be a little bit better off than what she was before. You know what I mean? Like, she's out for herself first.
Right.
Is what it seems like anyways. And so far, it just seems like she's very loyal to the Umgadi and pretty loyal to Melina as well. It seems like didn't the bios kind of hint that they're possibly an item?
It's a secret bond. It specifically mentions scandal. Like, it would cause scandal if it were known.
Right.
So she's not just a protector. There's a relationship there.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But
how much of that we'll see. If it's just part of bios, we'll see. But yes, that is still a part of their dynamic.
Yep.
That has not changed. Liu Kang was like, you know what? Keep it.
Keep it. I feel
Stay
like
together.
That's one of those things where he's trying to just, he's once again trying to appease Katana and say, like, yeah, I want your life.
I want the best.
I want the best for you. I want to bring back your sister, and I want her to be happy as well, so I'm going to make Tanya good this time. Did she deceive anybody in 10?
I don't think she did, really.
She
She was pretty much just at Melina's side, kind of like, her second-hand woman, and then Rain was also there, which we see them all together again in this new trailer.
Yeah, just like that.
Rain's third wheeling,
Yeah, and Rain was in this trailer as well. He was
like
just
the awkward cousin that
he was just also there.
Melina invites just to make sure things stay cool.
Yeah, like they.
I don't know how this will go.
Melina,
will you hang out with us?
Melina and Tanya like go out together to like a little lunch date, whatever, and then once Tanya arrives, Melina's like, "Oh, by the way, I brought Rain. I hope that's cool." And Tanya's just like, "God damn it, are you kidding me? I wanted to be alone."
And then Tanya, we see some of her gameplay as well, which is also looking different.
She has a new vibe going on. You've heard of like feet characters. Like, for example, Jury is, I guess, like the foot character of Street Fighter 6. Well, Mortal Kombat has gone the other way. Tanya is the very first NRS hands character.
That's right.
If you're familiar with King of Fighters at all, Shune or Isla from King of Fighters 15. Those two kind of have like hands powers where they just use like floating hands that do things for them to like in their attacks. And Tanya has something similar where she just summons these little hands for some of her special moves.
Right, so it seems like NRS has been watching. She is looking pretty cool with this new ability. I'm interested to see what the origins there are, if they get into that, because, this is all brand new for her. She's got a 3-part staff. Yeah. So it has the length of her Naginata weapon. It also kind of gives like a pull-like similarity to Jade's weapon.
A little bit, yeah. Some of her attacks kind of gave me Jade vibes a little bit.
Right.
But at the same time, like I could see a couple moves using that weapon that looked like they were straight out of like MKX, like one of the overhead giant pull smash things.
Yeah.
That looked like it was like a Tanya move straight out of that Dragon Naginata variation.
She still has her spiral kick, low spiral kick, we'll call it. Spiral arrow for anyone that's only familiar with Street Fighter. Just imagine that on an NRS fighter. Yeah, that's what Tanya still has.
She's still got the spiral arrow, and I'm pretty sure she can combo out of it. I think they showed like a string into it.
Yeah, her combos, especially in the air, are looking pretty fun.
Yeah, they look cool. And she had a power-up of some kind where she went into a stance and it made her eyes kind of glow for a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what that did, but there was like a beam of light behind her when that was going on, and I don't really know exactly what that was yet.
She's got powers. She's got hands.
Really, the only thing that I miss is the eye makeup.
I do miss her eye makeup as well and the glowing white eyes, but as we mentioned, when she does that power-up, her eyes glow yellow now, so maybe that's like kind of the new variant of that for her eyes, but I guess they
didn't want to make them glow all the time, so they just, that's cool.
But like maybe we'll get some, classic skins or of some type for every character. We'll see. Yep. This is the direction Liu Kang's going. He's giving everybody new looks. There's someone standing in the background very prominently in one of Tanya's first shots. another member of the Umgadi, presumably Chameleon.
It is very much a classic Chameleon vibe. She's just wearing all yellow in this one. The Chameleon that we know of the past kind of had a rotating color palette in her outfit where it would just change pretty regularly. And obviously there's no speaking roles or anything. She's just in the background. But as soon as I saw her, I was like, hey, Chameleon, is she going to be a cameo? So as of right now, that is unconfirmed, but we're both thinking that that's going to be a cameo, right? Like,
yeah, and I think her design looked great, looked good enough to be, a cameo for sure.
Yeah, it looked like a fleshed out character.
Yeah.
Not just like a little background NPC or whatever.
Right, let's have her back. Bring her in.
I'm for it, yeah.
Other cameos we got to see that weren't new, but we got to see in action again for the first time in a bit. We already talked about him once, but we saw gameplay of Goro once again, and he is looking spruced up since we first saw him.
He's bigger for sure. I feel like he looked kind of tiny before. That was your first note when we first saw him.
They really beefed him up right away.
They must have heard the complaints about
Prince
Goro's
Goro.
size and just looking a little bit scrawny at first.
We gotta beef him up, and beef him up they did.
They did, for sure.
He is bigger, he's got just an overall stronger look about him. We also get another new cameo.
That's right. We get another character that hasn't been around in 17 years, since Armageddon.
Yeah, another surprise perhaps for a lot of people. Darius.
Yep, that's right. Darius is back. He's wearing an instantly recognizable outfit, that black and orange. You really only get one move for him right now out of the cameo move sets, and then him just showing up in the ending, but he looks pretty fun, and I felt like that one was a big surprise for sure. I feel like that's one of those characters where, like, I probably wouldn't pick him to play him, but picking him to just have him as, like, a little buddy to come along with my main fighter is definitely on the table. I feel like that's fun, so
yeah,
I'm into it.
A very exciting part of the trailer for you and I, you especially, was the final character they revealed, Baraka.
I love Baraka. I have an attachment to him for sure, based on a lot of the older games. I feel like this one was a big surprise to me because he was just in MK1, and I loved him there. I played him a ton. He was one of my 2 mains in that game. And I really didn't expect him to come back so soon because he's usually one of those sit a game out, come back cooler than ever sort of characters. But he is not sitting out, and he is still coming back cooler than ever. I feel like I was shocked at his physical appearance and then his whole gameplay section too. His combos are looking pretty sick. I feel like he's the first character that I've seen out of all of the reveals so far for MK1 that's been like, yes, that's the one for me going in day one. Based on just the whole kit, like the moves, his appearance, voice, all of it. So I'm like, yep, that's my guy going in day one right now.
He checks all the boxes off for you there.
Yep, for sure.
He looks super cool. I agree, the combos are just looking outstanding. You know, a lot of people seem to think that the MK11 Baraka appearance wasn't the best. I thought he was still really cool. This Baraka, like you said, like they took no breaks in making this man even cooler, just in ways that you wouldn't think possible, because I really thought the MK11 Baraka was pretty cool. I thought it was a great iteration of Baraka as far as his gameplay went.
I thought so.
Was it top tier? No, but what does that matter? You know, make your low tier character top tier.
Even if they're low tier, if you love a character, you can make it work because you can just put in the work, figure out what works and what doesn't for them, and there you go. I always thought MK11 Baraka was super fun to play. He was one of my favorites in the game.
He's still looking really cool in MK1. I think his effects, he's got these sharper orange-yellow effects with his blade swipes, and it's honestly giving me Drive Impact Street Fighter 6 vibes with how blocky the color on that is. And if it is, it's cool. I'm fine with it. I think it looks cool. We got to further learn about Baraka's story in the new era. He was a former merchant of Outworld, just a regular guy making his way, selling his goods in the Outworld marketplace.
Yeah, so Baraka was a humble merchant, and I really want to know what he sold. What was he peddling? What were his wares?
Yeah. If you had to guess, what was Baraka selling in the streets?
What kind of vendor was he?
Kebabs?
Kebabs would be fun. That would be kind of ironic. Yeah, just like
Meat
on a little stick. Yeah, that'd be funny. My first thought was
foreshadow.
like fish or something.
Oh.
Like he could just be like a little fish, like a village fisherman or
Oh, I
something.
like that. Because he'd be good at catching fish eventually, I would assume.
Yeah, definitely. As
arm
a
spikes.
Tarkatan dude, he could just stab the fish, bring him right up.
Built-in fishing tool in the arms.
That's ridiculous. He could do ice fishing, and he could just cut the ice blocks out with his little arm blades.
Yeah, so what do you think Baraka was selling? Let us know. And he ends up, unfortunately, catching the dreaded Tarkat disease.
It seems that all of the people in Outworld that get this Tarkat virus or disease kind of just get isolated and sent to a little camp where they have to wait and die. Baraka mentions in some of the dialogue that their only release is death, and he's chosen to fight instead of just giving up and dying, and he's trying to inspire the people of this camp and say, hey, we don't deserve this. Let's rise up and be our own people. That's inspiring, and that's definitely a different Baraka than we've ever seen before.
Really excited to see his story played out.
Yeah, definitely. I'm looking forward to Baraka a lot at this point.
So those are all the new characters introduced in the Umgadi trailer. We do get a closer look at the Edenian Garden stage. You've got Sindel's throne presumably on the left side of the stage.
It seems like there's a bunch of floral decorations all over the place, and like carved statues, and it just seems like a very clean, very beautiful environment.
Yes, very pretty, very ornate. We get another look at that stage. We have seen it before. New stages, though, that we get to see. One is actually the treatment room where Melina is in the story for her disease. That's on the left side of the stage. The majority of the stage, though, kind of looks like a castle.
Another indoor stage, yeah. Which I'm down for. I feel like I always love those indoor stages. There's something about it where it's like, yeah, these dudes are fighting and it's just inside a building.
We do get great depth with these stages. This stage has a doorway in it. You can see into a separate room. It's got a staircase going up on the right-hand side. And then when you're in the air, you can see a ton more above.
It seems like they're very detailed, not only horizontally, but like in a vertical way as well. Because like you said, in the air, you can see like an entire second floor. And there's like a little balcony and another room up there.
The other new stage we get is, we'll call it Baraka's camp. Like we mentioned, he is out here with the other infected Tarkat folk, and they're just living out in their own little new colony, but it is looking really pretty. There's a lot of depth to this stage. You can see way back in the rocks where there's some little rope bridges going across to another part of rocks where there's like a little cave opening, and it just looks pretty cool.
Yeah, there's a bunch of little Baraka style, I don't know, that's not really a thing. Baraka style huts, I was gonna say. There's little huts and fires and whatever.
Something like the Tarkat war camp of MK11, but much more peaceful, and like they're just starting out and they're just kind of trying to live rather than being at the point where they're a bloodthirsty people and just cannibals.
It looks good though.
Yeah, really cool new stages. I'm most excited about the castle looking one. What about you?
I would probably say that one as well. I love indoor stages. I always think they're really cool and fun.
Yeah.
So
I'm a big fan of the MKX stage Quanchi Fortress.
Yeah.
So it kind of gives me like those vibes in a different way, you know?
Yeah, I could see that for sure. And
there's no like naked man rising up in the center of the stage or anything like that, but
right, a naked man just made out of blood, just like squirming around like, hey, look at me, I'm forming. I do have one guess as to what that little room could be.
Oh, okay.
It could be, and we don't know any of the stage names, like we said, but I think the new stage could be related to Quan Chi still. I think he's kind of absent in the story from what we've seen so far, and we know that he's coming as DLC now, which we're about to get to. But I think they could go to his like abandoned fortress or something in the story and start using some of his weird equipment to try and save Melina.
Okay, so an early guess from Cam. Then we also got another trailer. During this hour-long panel, we got the very first Combat Pack trailer.
That's right. So that is going to have 6 characters in it. 3 guests, 3 Mortal Kombat characters. That seems kind of the standard at this point, so whether or not you like guests, it seems like they're here to stay. I've definitely seen people that are very excited for certain guests. There are people that are going to probably end up buying the game just because like one of their favorite characters from a different franchise is in it. You know what I mean?
Right, and if that's not the point of a guest character, I don't know what is.
Yeah.
So yeah, one person in particular crash lands onto the scene and the dust clears, and it is none other than Omni-Man.
He is of the Invincible comic series and Amazon Prime animated series as well. There's 1 season of that. It's confirmed now they got J.K. Simmons to voice Omni-Man and MK1, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's very exciting. That's one of the best parts of getting guest characters.
I just think it's cool that we're going to have J.K. Simmons, and we'll be able to hear him talking to characters like Scorpion and just like trash talking him.
Next up, to join the scene with Omni-Man is a Mortal Kombat resident, Ermac. I think a lot of people were given false hope by the Ermac that fell to the spike in the crypt in MK11. I think a lot of people were expecting the next sighting of Ermac to take on a similar style.
I think so, yeah. That was a very different outfit in MK11 than the one shown off in this new Combat Pack trailer.
Yeah.
I know you're a huge Ermac fan. Coming in at MKX, he was your main in that game.
I can't lie, I was not happy to see him this way.
Yeah.
A lot of people are comforted by the idea of the classic masks being an option. Of course, we haven't seen any customization. We don't know how any of that will work in this game yet. The initial combat pack for MK11 had a very different looking Joker, a completely different face than the one we ended up getting. So, you know, there's always time to completely change things if need be, which we might need that in this case.
We might need that, yeah.
I think Ermac deserves that.
Yeah, we'll see. He's not going to be around for a little while anyways. So.
Right, there's time.
Third character that gets shown off is
Peacemaker. Shows up
right.
on the other side of Omni-Man. We've got John Cena.
He looks just like him. You hear a little eagle caw in the background, and then there he is holding his gun up. Looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looks good.
Yeah, it does.
For sure.
So we'll see how he plays. I could see him having like a RoboCop style low shot, and I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. And then the fourth character that gets revealed is one of my personal favorites, Quan Chi. He fits a lot, and there's something unique in Quan Chi and his gameplay that just, I feel like they need to bring that in, you know what I mean? Especially for this new extreme juggle cameo style system they've got going on. So I'm looking forward to figuring out what he can do for sure. And I thought from the looks department, he looked really good. These couple of trailers we just got pretty much gave me my mains for the foreseeable future here.
Yeah, you are set. Then we round off the standing folk with
the Mortal Kombat fellas.
Yeah, with Takeda.
He's looking kind of cool. He looks a little bit more cyber or more futuristic or something. He has kind of an armored look to him with some glowing lights and like a skeleton mask or a skull mask vibe.
So Li Mei is not the only one that's taking kind of an age hike in the new era. Mm-hmm. The Takeda that we're going to see is
a little bit older.
A little crisp. A little older.
under the mask, he's got some wrinkles just under
wrinkles,
those eyes
you know?
there. Well, I wonder if this is like classic MKX Takeda pulled out of time.
Is it the original Takeda, founder of the Shirai Ryu? Perhaps.
Maybe.
That seems plausible to me. And with Ed Boon already confirming weeks ago now that the combat kids do not exist, it would take something happening in the story for that to change.
Right. He would have to be like a man out of time or something. Like,
right.
I was outside of time as it cracked and reset, and I was able to witness it all, and now I'm an old man.
Now I'm older than my dad.
Yeah, now I'm really old, and my dad didn't have me, but I'm older than him. That would be a lot to take in.
But he's looking really cool.
Yep.
And then the trailer is rounded out with a floating member.
Yeah, one last character comes down, and they float down kind of godlike, just floats down, arms outstretched, and then the eyes just glow bright red, and that is none other than...
Homelander. He looks great.
Yeah, Homelander from The Boys. At least right now, it looks like he's going to be portrayed by Anthony Starr.
I think all of the guest characters honestly look like they could just come out right now. They look fully done. I don't know if that's because they take a certain level of polishedness when they're working with outside sources. If outside sources maybe require them to bring things up to a certain standard before they're previewed, I don't know. But I feel like the guest characters look like they could come out right now because they all look great.
Out of those 6, what would you say would be the one you're looking forward to the most?
Definitely Homelander. I said day of, I don't need to see anything else from him. I'm going to play this character. Just from that 30-second glimpse.
Yeah, fair enough. That's kind of how I feel about Quan Chi. Haven't even seen Quan Chi footage, but I'm good.
There was some leaked footage from inside the panel room that we must address.
Yes. This was footage that was supposed to remain inside those halls, but of course people sneak their phones in or whatever and take videos. So some of these have come out, and there were a couple of character reveals in them. One playable and one cameo.
You see these 2 figures walking from behind.
You could see horse legs right off the bat, and you could see that the 2 back legs were kind of like robotic. And that was when people just started shouting immediately, like, whoa, this guy?
Yeah, and you get Reiko and Motaro.
Yeah, and that's pretty cool. Kind of a shock, I guess, but at the same time, with Motaro, it's perfect for a cameo.
Yeah, and I think NRS, they've made that clear since cameos have been talked about in MK1 that, hey, we're going to use this as a chance to bring in some characters that just aren't possible otherwise.
Right. It would be very hard to play as Motaro, being the size that he is, and with the different
proportions,
non-human build.
Yep.
It wouldn't work for fatalities and x-rays and all that. But yeah, that's a great idea. I think that's going to be cool. Any Motaro fans out there, let us know how you feel. I personally don't really care too much about the guy, but it's still pretty cool to see him there, and just as a cameo.
Yeah, same here. I don't have any real attachment to Motaro, but it's cool to see people thrilled to have some of these nostalgic characters back that you haven't been able to see in a while.
Yeah, definitely.
So, Reiko, on the other hand, he's kind of revealed as what we can assume is a main roster. I think Reiko's looking pretty cool, which is something I never thought I would say. I just have never thought Reiko's that interesting or cool. However, I think they're already selling him for me, which is, wow, impressive, I'm going to say. I'm excited to see more of him.
It seems like the dagger is going to be a big part of his moveset. I'm guessing, just based on the little fight they show with him versus a bunch of little low-level guards. This Reiko is just messing these guys up, and he kind of does a roll at one point, and it made me think of MK11 Rambo. What if he's got some Rambo moves, some like blood magic moves? I don't know. I think he could be really cool, though. I didn't play 3D era at the time that it was the current thing, so I have no attachment to Reiko either. But I thought based on what we'd seen, he did look good.
My interest for Reiko has been primed, has been piqued I'm ready to see more, and that's something I never thought I would say.
And then there was one other trailer that they showed off as well, right?
Yeah, we get an extended look at the Lin Kuei trailer. We see that Smoke isn't someone that Scorpion and Sub-Zero just encounter once they get to the top of the wall. He's with them the whole time, scaling the wall in his little tornado.
I thought that was a really funny scene. Just like 10 seconds of Scorpion and Sub-Zero climbing, and Smoke's just there like, wow, that
He's
sucks,
just heading
huh?
up the rear.
Let me just fly up with my little powers.
Yep. They get to the top of the wall. They look up.
Yeah, they hear a sound from above. It's a shriek like a bat, almost.
Everyone is saying, this is Natara. She's back. And I can definitely see why you would say that.
Yeah.
However, one theory remains. There is another character with some sort of shriek that has been hinted at being in MK1, and that is Sindel.
Yeah.
However, I do strongly feel like this is Natara. I don't think Sindel will show up shrieking in the Lin Kuei's face, but
I mean,
who knows?
As much as I'd love to see that,
yeah.
I think you're right. I think it is more likely that it's going to be Natara, and she's another one of those 3D eras where it's been 17 years. Like, so many characters in this game are coming back, and that's honestly sort of cool because I never really got the chance to play them the first time around.
So where do we go from here with all this news of Mortal Kombat 1? There's one leak in particular that has nailed all of these characters in the right spot so far. And if that leak continues to be correct, we can definitely expect to see Reiko, Natara make their actual announcement appearances.
Yeah, I'm guessing we'll see them sooner than later.
Who else do you think we'll see next based on that leak?
I would guess Sindel wouldn't be too far off because they're showing off the Edenian Guardians or Sindel Gardens or whatever it's going to be called.
Yeah.
They've been showing that a lot more, so I could see her soon. And maybe Jade? They've been really showing off the royalty side of things lately, and I could see Jade working with, she would be working closely with Katana as well.
Yeah, it's interesting that we really haven't seen any hints of her, though, so it leads you to wonder just where Jade's going to fit in all of this.
Right. I could be way off base there.
I'm hoping that we can see Reptile soon.
I hope so. I'm just scared because based on all of this 3D representation, what if when we do get Reptile, he's his 3D form and he's like Lizard Man style Reptile with a tail?
The thought has crossed my mind, and I too am worried about this now because we are seeing a lot of 3D era representation, and you can't ignore that 3D era Reptile isn't my favorite Reptile.
Yeah, I'm not big on the Lizard Man look.
Well, that's all the MK1 updates and news that we can talk about at the moment. Other highlights from recent times since we last spoke was, of course, the first session of the Tekken8 closed network test. Well, neither one of us got a code, so we were not able to participate, but we've got some highlights to share.
It seems like as of right now, and Harada has already said this online, but it seems like a very unfinished game at this point, and obviously that's the case. It is supposed to just be a beta or a closed network test. There were several infinites that were discovered, like King has one where he can just do the same punch move over and over. He has another infinite where he can just do the same little low kick over and over when you're against the wall, and it'll connect 40 times in a row till you're dead. It's pretty crazy. Obviously that kind of stuff isn't going to stay in the game when it comes out. It does seem that people are enjoying it other than like the weird things that are gonna have to be ironed out.
There were a lot of issues reported. Damage was very high, and with every issue that popped up, Harada seemed to have an answer. He quelled the fears of the masses and assured us that these were all things that they were going to take note of and change. The damage, they already knew they were going to change that.
Yeah, and he even encouraged people, if you do have any sort of complaints or issues with the current build of the game, send them in.
Yeah.
Send them to the support team, because this is the time where they can look at those things and make adjustments. So they're still looking at adjustments because they want people to be able to play this game for a long time and be able to have it be like really good.
There seemed to be a simple controls feature that can be switched seamlessly in fight.
We'll see how extreme it is, I guess, once the game comes out.
We're able to see costume color variants. The Nina option 2 is strange. It's like a puke green dress with a purple jacket still, I believe.
Yeah.
Don't quote me on that, though, because if you listened last week, I have a problem with colors and remembering what they are. Sorry about that.
Last week.
If anybody heard me say that the third strike menu is purple, I don't know why I said that. It is orange. Anyways. Yeah, we got to see the first variants on the costume colors.
Some of them look cool. Some of them,
Forgettable. With Kings, you could barely even tell what the difference was.
Yeah. For Asuka, it was like poop brown.
Oh, okay. I guess I didn't see that one.
I feel like
you showed me Lars because his was actually cool. It was just like a red.
Yeah, his was a deep red and black. It reminded me of his Tekken8 outfit.
There were some other fun things in the gameplay itself. We found out that Lily is very tall. Like, too tall. Because Nina's like way shorter than her, yet looks taller.
Yeah, according to in-game dimensions, they said that Nina was 168 centimeters and Lily is 180 centimeters. But when they show them side by side, Nina is so much taller.
Also, I saw floating around that Ling Xiaoyu will give a different face when she fights Claudio on her windscreen as opposed to anyone else. Normally she'll smile, but against Claudio, she's just straight-faced.
That's funny. She does the exact same thing that I do when I fight Claudio. Just stare at him with a straight face. Like, okay, let me just get through the next 5 minutes of my life.
Session 2 of that closed network test will be this weekend for the Xbox and PC crowd. So, and also for anybody else that already played, you'll get to play again. Well, to round out today's episode, we can't go without saying that Rashid is here.
That's right. Rashid dropped very early Monday morning.
He is a lot of fun.
We did quite a few mirror matches against each other, and he seems like a fun character. It does feel like it's going to take quite a bit of time to, figure out what all of his moves are used for or what they're useful for. Some of them have different directional changes.
I think everybody's having fun with him in 6. A highlight for him is that Azam is once again hanging out. He's in World Tour, and he also shows up to step in if there's a timeout.
I love it. I want to see more of him.
Yeah, so overall first impressions, Rashid's looking fun. We are happy to have Rashid, but we're both still hanging on with our new mains of Jamie and for you, Jury. Just to keep you updated, we are still with our mains, still hanging in there. But happy to have Rashid join the mix. And we'll see you guys next week with more Wake Up 3.
Yeah, thank you for joining us.
That brings us to the end of this week's episode of Wake Up 3. Thanks so much for listening. You can follow the podcast on Twitter at WakeUp3FGC. And you can find me, Molly, on Twitter at Concut. That's KAHNKUT. Or on PlayStation, that's Jam Michaels.
And you can find me, Cam, on Twitter or PlayStation at Big Rock Online. This is Wake Up 3, signing off.
Bye.
Yeah, John Cena is in the building.
Where is he? I don't see him.